In this Map Suite MVC Edition sample app walkthrough, we're going to show you how you can utilize the TrackShapeFinished event inside your application to handle common scenarios where you're allowing your users to draw shapes and you want to capture what they draw on. So let's take a look at the sample here. As you can see, we've got our various drawing tools over here on the left that allow you to pick the type of shape you want to draw. You can draw it on the map. So there's some squares or rectangles, and here's a polygon, some circles, and you can see as soon as I get done drawing, so as soon as I terminate the feature being drawn, it will change colors and display on the map, and it's actually getting saved to an in-memory feature layer behind the scenes there. But this can be useful if you don't want to have your user hit a save button or add different steps, or you just want to allow them to quickly add some points to the map by clicking on there and capture the event as soon as they're done drawing the shape. So that's where this TrackShapeFinished event comes in. So let's take a look at the code so you can get an idea of how you can go about implementing this in your application. So let's take a look at the view source code first, and we've got a few sections here. We've got our JavaScript block we'll take a look at in a second. Then we've got where our HTML here, where we're setting up our different drawing tool buttons, and you can see over here on the right, we're just on the on-click of those, we're setting the set draw mode for each one. So if it's circle, polygon, line, etc. And then down here is where we're setting up the map. So we're adding it to the page. We're setting the map unit. We're zooming it into the United States. And then right here is the important part of the sample. This is where we're telling the map control that we want to do something client-side when a track shape is finished. And in this case, we're telling it we want to call the JavaScript routine TrackShapeFinished. So this is setting it up so the event gets fired on the client side, so we can do some processing once the user gets done drawing that shape. And then down here we're just adding the world map kit WMS overlay, and then we're setting up our in-memory feature layer and setting the styles that we want the shapes to be displayed on after the user gets done drawing it. So this is the code where the style is getting set for the shape once it's drawn. So we're going to be adding it to this shape layer, which is in fact an in-memory feature layer. And then we're adding all of that to the map and rendering it back out. So that gives you an idea of how the application is set up once the page is first loaded. So let's take a look at what happens now once the user is done drawing their shape. And when that happens, this JavaScript function here is going to be called this TrackShapeFinished, because if you remember, we set it up here earlier on this on-client TrackShapeFinished property. And when that happens, we want to do an AJAX callback, so we can go server side, and we're going to call the update edit shape function within the interactive overlays controller, and we're going to pass in the features of the map as an argument there. And then when that gets returned, we just want to go ahead and execute this remaining code to then redraw the shapes once they've been added to the in-memory feature layer, and then clear out any editing shapes from the edit overlay. So with that, let's go take a look at the server-side code so you can see what's happening on the server once the user finishes drawing a shape. So to do that, we'll pop up the controller source here. And you can see here's our update edit shape, which is taking in our map, of course, and then our collection of arguments. And here's where we're we're just creating a JSON string, and then here's where we're creating our features. And this is important. We've got a map helper here that will allow you to convert our JSON, which we pulled out of our arguments here, to actually a collection of features. So this can be very useful when you do a lot of transfer between the client and server side. And then down here we just get a reference to our shape overlay that we set up when we loaded the map control, and then the shape layer within that. And then we just loop through the feature collection and add those to the shape layer. And then finally we clear out the edit overlay. So this is clearing out the shape that was drawn because we've now added it to the in-memory feature layer on this overlay. So once that's returned back, Comes back here to the source, and it redraws the shape overlay, which would redraw these shapes in the green color that we're seeing, and it clears out any edit overlay features, which are the blue ones that you see once you're drawing the shapes. So this is a great sample if you want to implement this type of functionality in your application. So I would invite you to look at it a little bit closer. And of course, if you have any questions, feel free to contact us or post them directly on our discussion forums at thinkgeo.com/forums. And thank you for watching.